Hello everybody, I'm Serta and welcome to Planet Crafter. This is the Planet Humble DLC for Planet Crafter. Obviously you need Planet Crafter's base game to be able to play it, but this offers so much more. There's a lot to look at. Let's get stuck in. First thing you need to know, if you have the DLC installed, you're going to choose your game mode, give your game a name, and then choose the planet. The original planet was called Prime, this one is called Humble. And then once you've created the game, you'll make landfall, and this is where you'll find yourself. And there'll be a message to read, and basically the same as on Planet Prime, you'll need to reach blue sky or blue atmosphere at 175,000 Ti, and you'll come into this biome, and this biome got all these sort of calcified tube structures around, very cool looking, and this map is amazing. You'll also find, the normal resources, magnesium and titanium and iron and that kind of thing lying around, but you'll notice one thing, there aren't any blue crystals like cobalt. Yeah, it's pretty rare, but you will find a new ore, dolomite, and one of the first, so we'll grab that. Now, one of your first objectives will be to build something completely new. This is an ore crusher, tier 1. So we'll put one down. Now, this has two sides. The higher side is where you put your dolomite or your ore into, and there are 3 new ores in this game. And once you've got it running, with a little bit of power, it's going to start working, and it's going to start crushing that ore. We're going to give it some time, because this takes 150 seconds. So it has a production time, and that means that you can speed these up eventually with fuses. And once the 2.5 minutes have passed, you'll be able to come in and you will have ores in your ore crusher. You can just put the dolomite in and the dolomite will continue to crush and you'll get more ores. Now, there are 2 more tiers to this, tier 2 and tier 3, which speed up the process but also produce more eventually. And that is the new major mechanic in the game, ore crushers, because you're going to need things that aren't exactly readily available on this map. You've got to play it a little differently. Now, I don't want to give too much of the story away in this video because that's not the objective of this video. This is just to introduce you to some of the new stuff and how to play. But as you move around the map, you'll see that there are things on this map that, well, it looks like someone was here before you. And there are these funny little drones, there's lots of chests, and there's lots of frozen places and places that you can't get into because of ice, which will over time recede and very much change the landscape of this game in a big way. But yeah, there definitely was something here before. As we explore further around the map, you'll find new areas like this very active lava biome where you can pick up more resources and you can move around, and resources are not as easy to find as they used to be, but there are resources lying around. There's an incredibly beautiful sulfur area, and in the sulfur area you'll find even more evidence that there was some kind of a operation on this planet before, with these cargo containers that you can open up and get resources out of. Lots of blue chests around. There are wrecks to explore. Well, this looks more like it was abandoned than it's a wreck, but yeah, like this one, and many other points of interest, including these mini bases that have that are dotted around the map that hold lots of handy resources that you can pick up. This amazing field of crystals with lots of handy resources on the ground, and a really big ship to check out, which happens to be right next to another base. And there are a lot of resources around here that you can grab, including taking down these solar panels and adding them to your grid. As you progress through the game, the ice recedes, water appears on the surface, and lots of new items appear, ores that you can pick up, caves open up that you can investigate. And on the surface, the map doesn't seem that big. However, there is an entire underground. And there are a number of places that you can get into the cave system. But what would it be if there wasn't a waterfall with a cave behind it? And that opens up into beautiful cave systems that are also hiding lots of little tidbits that will help you. Extra resources. You'll notice something unusual there. And the cave system is absolutely enormous, with lots and lots of different biomes within the cave system, and lots of interesting things to explore. But you'll also find that the cave system has lots of entry points and exit points. And I'm not going to spoil this, but keep an eye out for these structures as you travel around the map. There are a few of them around. There's also this mysterious area on the one end of the map, which only becomes available much later in the game. Well, you could go there, but yeah, very difficult to get in and get out. Now, just like with Prime, you are eventually able to mine resources, and that includes the new ores. And like I said, there were 3 ores. The first one we found was dolomite, There's also bauxite and uraninite. With tier 1 drills, you are able to mine bauxite and dolomite, and in time you'll get a container full of nice resources. And when you get drones, you can automate the process of shipping items between your mines, your crushers, and your storages and production facilities. Here I found a bit of uraninite lying around, so I'll grab that. And right here is what bauxite looks like. And we can mine it. Just grab a whole bunch out. And I'll take that back to the crushers to see what we get. Alright, I've got a little setup over here with a tier 1, tier 2, and tier 3 crusher. I'm going to grab the dolomite, drop it into the tier 1, see what we get. I'll drop the bauxite into the tier 2 and the uraninite into the tier 3. Now the tier 3 will deliver more and it'll do it in a shorter time. I believe this is 100 seconds, but it outputs 4. The Mark II also takes 100 seconds, but it puts out 3 ores, and the Mark I takes 150 seconds to put out 3 ores. So basically, I think that's the speed. I don't think there's an issue with what you put into which machine. I think the crushers all work the same. They'll work on any of the ores. Some of them just produce results a little slower and a little bit less of the ores. And don't be like me and put it in the wrong side. There's a pop-up text that tells you where to put the ores, and you put them in on the high side, not on the low side, because then they don't do anything. And I was wrong. The Mark III delivers 4 ores in 70 seconds, not 100 seconds. The Mark II delivers 3 ores in 100 seconds, and the Mark I delivers 3 ores in 150 seconds. And then after some time, you can come back in, and you will find that ores have been delivered. Now, I got iridium, uranium, dolomite and iron out of that one, which was a bit of a surprise. You can get dolomite out of the uraninite ore, which is an interesting one. Well, there's another one. Let's see what else we get from it. From the bauxite, we got iron, we got aluminium, we got silicon. That's cool. That's where we get aluminium. Bauxite is the thing for aluminium, so that makes sense. And then from the dolomite, we got iron, magnesium, and cobalt. These are the things that we're going to need. And if I leave this for just a little bit longer, right, and we got more aluminium out of the bauxite, fantastic. We got pretty much the same out of the uraninite, which is fine, but we do also get things like super alloy. So the rarer stuff does come out, but you can still craft super alloy as normal. You also have all the luxuries of Planet Prime, including some new flowers. These look cool. Very nice. And you'll have the normal fish and the frogs and the animals, and maybe some new stuff there as well. Another thing to keep an eye out for, cosmic quartz. Well, I'm not going to give that away, so we'll just leave it at that. Obviously, there is a portal generator, so you can go into other parts of the planet, but this planet is beautifully crafted, might even be a little bit better than the first one, I think. It is absolutely stunning. The way it terraforms is just very cool. Lots of new stuff, a great storyline. I think you guys are going to love this one. I will be starting a playthrough. So if you like this video, give us a like. If you want to see more, subscribe, hit the bell icon for notifications, and catch me on my playthrough. This is going to be a different kind of playthrough. It will be different because things have to be done differently in this DLC, and I'm quite happy with that. It's a new challenge. It looks great, and I hope you all enjoy it. Thank you so much for joining me, and until next time, cheers!